How's it going? Welcome back to the Blue Shifting up, everybody. Welcome back to ReWrite. So, thank you for the week off. I needed it desperately, taking care of family stuff, but now we're back. And I had to refresh a bit. I just dug through the logs, and yeah, so we managed to make it to the heart of the garden in the heart of the forest. Kaori's Druid lush garden place. But she's associated with similar powers to the summoners. But she's far more than that because she can summon plants and animals. And yeah, so she made Chibi Moth, who was made and crafted from her dog who died, but then transformed into a pygmy mammoth with a piece of bone that her dad had. So that was interesting. And then we flat out asked her if she likes us, or at least if she liked Yoshino or not. And she said no, and then she dived away, and so she kind of ran off. So she's still avoiding us, avoiding the questions, kind of implying that she doesn't like us, despite the fact that we like her, and it sucks. But yeah, now that we're here, let's just see what's going to happen, because I'm not sure what we're going to do now, because what are we going to do about the whole Cabal Summoner Organization people? Because they're clearly upset and don't like, and they've got their dragon thing perched right outside of this glade, trying to destroy anybody who tries to get here. They've literally, there's corpses surrounding this entire area. So what now? Yeah, no, it's a pickle. It's a royal pickle and a half. So yeah, I don't know. I have no guesses at this point. I've had my guesses. I was right on some things. I'm glad I was, but now I have no idea what's going to happen. So let's just jump in, shall we? Oh yeah, I forgot. Moon Spirit Girl, kind of a thing. She's the personification of Gaia, which is the spirit and consciousness of the planet as a platonic entity. That's cool. We'll have to see how that plays out. Anyway, my spirits sink. I still haven't processed this whole business about summoners, keys, and druids. Oh yeah, they call her the key. It sounds like some weird joke, but I've made it this far. I've learned Kotori's secret. I thought that proved to be the last push we needed, but it seems like I gave myself too much credit. She told me to make myself at home, but what am I supposed to do here? Oh yeah, we don't touch the wibbly stuff over the little pool, because apparently that's pure Gaia energy essence, and it will literally kill you if you can see it. If you can't see it, it's fine. But if you can see it, it means you can interact with it. And if you can interact with it, it'll just rip the flesh from your bones. So that's cool. I'm all alone in an unknown place. Can I just walk around? Pretty big. Kotori seems to have reworked quite a large area of the forest. Does this mean that this area itself is kind of like Kotori's familiar? Summoners are quite something, dang. It surpasses the monster in my pocket image I got from the name by quite a bit. The power spot. The spring of life energy. True to its name, it oozes pure energy in a gel form. Kotori said she's using the thing in place of her own life. Feels very similar to my Aurora, which, with that info in mind, sounds like I'm using my own life energy as a weapon. Maybe that's why it exhausts me so much? Does that also mean we're literally using our own lifespan? Because that's kind of scary. Kotori said the falling in would be the bad news. Probably better not to get too close. Now let's trust Kotori. She seems to be pretty honest. Leaves are spread all over, almost looking like a tent. Oh, it actually is a tent. Find something like a bedroom inside. There's lots of fruit inside too. So it seems she produces her own food. Bet the world would be quite shaken if the abilities of summoners were introduced into society. I mean, that sounds really freaking useful. I grab one of the fruits. It's about the size of an apple. I take a bite. I met with a surprising chewiness I don't normally associate with fruit. Well, that sounds like it might be a mango or a peach then. Almost like the texture of bread or a rice cake. Oh, whoa, okay, never mind. Slightly sweet. Feels like a food that could become a staple in your diet. Weird, it's like a starch fruit? Breadfruit? What? Find an herb garden that actually looks like something from the real world.
それ薬品になるやつね。食べない方がいいよ。
I guess she just pops up and be like, don't eat those. Kotori passes by the large box in her arms. Need help?
休んでて。
And she's gone again. I have nothing to do. I'm guessing we can't leave, though. I find another large tent. I check inside.
Wow.
Hey, Chibi-Bath! Oh, it's you. And a whole lot of your friends, I see. Are there, like, lots of them? Looks like the local kennel. Several other beasts of similar size to Chibi-Bath are resting here. They're not moving at all, as though they're dead. Seems like only Chibi-Moth has the will of its own. Okay. I heard you were part pedo.
もし、
I see. You're just like him. He was pretty clingy, too.
もしょ。
Hey. But Pedo died, which makes him his zombie or something? Or is he completely different after being already? Yeah, that's an interesting question. Do summoners actually possess the power to resurrect the dead? That surely changed our view of life and death quite a bit. I'm guessing she just used him as a model. Like, Pedo died. And his consciousness, whatever that would be, the spark of life, whatever that is, left. And Kotori tried to stuff life energy back into it. And it fundamentally changed it for whatever reason. So I don't think it's Pedo, but it is kind of Pedo. Imagine a being that has, like, portions of Pedo's memories, but is an entirely different creature altogether. Kind of like a clone, I would say. Like, you can make a clone of a person, and it's, like, genetically identical. They look exactly the same, probably different ages, but still, like, they'll be the same. But that doesn't mean that they're the same person. Like, it would be a completely different individual, because regardless of how identical you could be from the an original form, that secondary individual has a completely different set of, like, values and views and experiences that are going to shape them into being a unique individual. There could be a lot of similarities, and heck, there might even be some, like, preconceptive, like, urges and instincts that could be preserved and could make them seem to make very similar choices. But in the end, they're still a different person. Maybe that's why they're hiding. I'm curious about the unmoving beast, but I'm also a bit scared. I mean, I've almost been killed by things like these before. Let sleeping dogs lie, as they say, almost literally in this case. You'll never be treated as a pervert if you don't touch any schoolgirls. Oh, okay. No, wait, that still happens. Where did that thought come from? I pet Chibi-Moth's head and leave the kennel. He's so cute! My bag seems to have been retrieved, too. That's very considerate of them. I check the insides. Emergency funds, food, change of clothes, medicine. Most of it's food, actually. I don't need tools like flashlights or night scopes anymore. I have my enhanced eyes and other senses. They're pretty useful at the moment, but I'll always have to live the rest of my life like this. Haunted houses will do nothing for me going forward, and I won't be able to ignore faint off flavors in my food anymore. Ugh. That does sound like a curse, actually. Even the best food will probably feel a bit off, because you'll be able to taste things that a cook never could, no matter how good they are. So everything will probably taste a little off or bland. Oh, that'd be kind of sucky. Getting used to my enhanced sense of smell has actually been pretty hard. Anyway, that's just how it goes. Rewriting my abilities always comes with a risk. I might completely mess up my body if I improve my physical abilities in an imbalanced way. That's why I've been so careful about using my powers up until now. I already messed up once, when I was still a kid. At that point, I already knew I had powers. Oh, is this how the accident occurred? A certain classmate made fun of me during a sports test. He had an unusual physical aptitude, and everyone was talking about how he might become a sportsman in the future. And he was well aware of the fact, which is probably why he made fun of people he deemed inferior. He looked down on everyone that wasn't good at sports. God, he would have hated me. Well, he would have loved to hate me. And so I enhanced my physical abilities to get back at him just once. I boosted them up to the level of a high schooler. A grade schooler with the strength of someone in high school. Didn't consider how serious that could be. I got my chance to show off, and I got back at the bee. Everyone looked at me with jealous eyes. I momentarily became a hero, but it didn't end there. The teachers went wild over me, attracting the attention of actual sporting organizations. Oh no! Realizing I went overboard, I decided to hold myself back to the level of a grade schooler again. It was difficult. Depending on the day, I swung between the worse and better at everyone else. So you made yourself inconsistent. Set a new record at the high jump, and then it only jumped 2 meters forward in the long jump. Everyone began speculating I was messing around. The tests continued for a while, constantly trying to trip me up. I was relieved from the bottom of my heart when everyone finally started treating me like just another grade schooler. After that, I swore not to abuse my powers anymore. Cheating never pays off. I tried joining the sports club during middle school. It wasn't fun at all. I didn't feel fulfilled no matter what kind of sport I tried. And of course, I didn't need to train or run faster than everyone else. My powers took my youth away from me. Yeah, but I don't know. Having had a youth where I couldn't do those things, I tried. But I had asthma, but it was so subtle that it never got properly diagnosed because I never had an asthma attack because my lungs always gave out before I could get pushed that far. And it just was a subtle thing that kind of suppressed me. I never felt like trying because every time I tried, it just was painful and I was never good. So maybe if I'd been diagnosed earlier, I could have maybe had more of a chance, but I just never did. Until I was old enough that I kind of missed my youth too. I made up for it and did better. But then I got injured and gained a lot of weight and I was already pretty big back then, but I gained more weight and that pretty much made all of that impossible, especially because the way I got injured meant that my knee, still to this day, is never fully recovered and never will. Frankly, the type of injury I got, if I'd had it maybe even a few decades before, I probably wouldn't be able to walk properly. My knee would be locked up and I'd probably walk like an old man for my entire life. I'm grateful I got the ability to move as robustly as I have, but I'm always at the threat of re-injury. In fact, I have re-injured it, and I've had a surgery on it, a second surgery, because of how easy it is for me to hurt. I can't take risks. There's certain activities I just can't risk. And even when I do activities that should be safe, I'm always dancing on the edge, and I can feel it sometimes. If I take a goofy step, I can feel I'm just shy of going right back to the hospital. So I literally can't. It's not even about pushing yourself anymore. Even if I push myself and I get really in shape and I get really I get buffed out of my mind. But there's just activities I'll never be able to do because the risk is just so high of re-injury. And that includes some of my favorites. I only went water skiing a couple times. That's a regret I have. I went snow skiing all growing up, but that's no longer in the cards. Knee injuries are already frequent enough with those, but considering just the basics that can happen when you're skiing, and especially on the hills I could tackle, you have a little spill, most of the time it's nothing, but for me it could just kind of rip my entire knee joint to pieces, and it's just not worth that risk. I might be able to do snowboarding, but again, it's still pretty risky. Even with my foot being nailed down, it's still pretty high up there on the risk table. And so yeah, it sucks when you have these things kind of ripped away from you. And even now, my current condition, it's ripping what little I had away from me, making it so hard just to function in normal stuff. That sucks. I don't know. I'd rather trade, having experienced mine. And I know how, I can tell how hard it is for him here, but personally, I'd rather have too much and have to hold back than having so little you can't do anything with it. Because in a pinch, he can pull on his own abilities. When he's needing to, he can do it. If I'm ever in a situation of life or death, I'm probably just gonna die. I won't even have the opportunity to prove myself. And just because I can maybe learn knowledge and strategy and all that, when push comes to shove, there are gonna be times, I don't know, think about, what if I was living in the Ukraine right now? I don't think I would have made it out of those areas. I'm not in that kind of position. I can't do that kind of stuff, and that's what sucks. It's kind of scary. It feels like I'm trapped in a little bit, trapped in invisible walls that no one can see, and I can talk about, but it's hard to know, if even you listening would actually really understand what I'm trying to say, because it's so easy to take for granted, the ability just to move around, freely. And I'm still so grateful I have what I've got, because it could have been so much worse. Anyway. Oh, hey, there's still a Shikigami in my bag. Oh, what? Again! I left click, and it acts like I right click sometimes. At least the ORS was fun. I can only feel fulfillment from things that don't require physical prowess. Yeah, there we go. See, that's what I'm feeling too.
それ、力ある道具だね。
Have you finished your business already, Kotori?
まだ、通りかかっただけ。
I got these from Prez. They repelled evil spirits from my house. They're definitely the real thing.
本物というか、その紙切れ自体が一種の魔物だね。
Okay. Oh. So she was able to make it because she was a summoner. So does that mean that there were summoners in the ORS? Oh, you know what? Maybe there were. Because remember, Kamurocho has been settled by these summoners, right? So they have kids, and some of those kids are likely awakening to talent who went to school. And what a better place for them to go and be able to practice their powers away from prying eyes than in an ORS school academy program. So the Shikigami were real because they were familiars that were created by summoners in training. No way!
地球ではよくあること。魔物は契約者が必須だから野良ってのはいないけど、こういう道具みたいな動かなくてちょっとの力しかないものは割と流出してるんだ。
Only summoners have the ability to instill them? And can you be a summoner and not know it? Like, if you're never trained, like, are there people out there who just have that aptitude that, like, might not get noticed by the organized summoners and thus kind of manifest on their own but not really know why?
だから、たまに質屋さんとかでヘロってマジックアイテムが並んでたりするの。面白いでしょ。
That old man who ran the pawn shop. Maybe he's actually on the lookout and trying to harvest and collect magic artifacts. Yeah, it really is. It's like a video game. I like it. Trying to feel alive again.
ゲーム感覚で生きてるな。調べてみないとわかんないけど、エネルギー自体は使用者から徴収してるんだね。だから契約者がいらない。
Okay.
こういうの作るの難しいんだよ。
Are those summoners that specialize in certain things?
ねえ、それちょっと調べてみたいから借りていい？
Yeah, of course. I hand the Shikigami to Kotori.
あんがと。じゃあ仕事に戻るね。
I like Kotori. She grabs the Shikigami and whisks away. Why is she in such a hurry? I wonder if she's trying to locate Prez. I find the ribbon standing perpendicularly to the ground. The girl is the key, apparently. Hey. No reaction. How are humans lately? They're working pretty hard on eco stuff these days. It talked. Ecology, I mean.
Eco.
It's not eco, it's eco.
Ko.
Hey!
Eco.
That's right.
Eco.
Oh, he suddenly bites my right arm. Ow, what the heck? He looks confused. It seems like the key was reacting to my aurora.
いじめちゃダメだよ。その人、超ビップだよ。
I hear her voice from far away. It doesn't seem like we can communicate. I'd leave the girl alone to walk elsewhere. I don't know. If I had nothing better to do, I'd want to like sit with her and kind of just get a feel for her, because like she's weird and it kind of sucks that she'd bite you, but like at the same time, I guess he's not done exploring. But if I had nothing else to do, like she's definitely the most interesting thing here besides Kotori, like because she's literally a manifestation of the world. Like that's crazy. Kotori's busy working on something. I can see all sorts of tools near her. Chisel, saw, owl, hammer, scalpel, scissors, and wood glue. They're totally inconsistent. I glance over her shoulder and find her removing the internal organs from a crow's body. Whoa! I quickly look away, but the sight is burned into my memory. Where's the mosaics when you need them?
魔物作ってるの。
Kotori pulls down her mask and describes her work as though it's nothing unusual.
割とグロ画像なことがあるから見ない方がいいよ。
Fetch me. I wish you warned me before I did. So, you don't actually just say a bunch of magic words to summon these beasts or whatever, right?
そりゃまず作らないとダメさ。
So they are like, they're more like a homunculus then. They work off of an existing fleshy pattern. Like it's not something you create out of nothingness. Wonder how that dragon works then. Is that a homunculus of, like it almost like it was made of plants But it doesn't seem like it'd be something that Kotori made unless, oh, maybe Kotori did make it. It accidentally took out to hurt us. But it might have been a defense mechanism she set up in the forest to keep maybe intruders, and especially the summoners, out. Because that could be the corpses they're seeing that we've seen around the perimeter. Is that big dragon thing is actually protecting Kotori's garden, which is why she feels so confident that we're safe. That's kind of disturbing, but I mean, okay. Looks like surgery.
これは形や機能を整えてるだけだけどね。実在する動物をモデルに魔物を作るときには、いらない臓器なんかを取り除いた方が効率がいいんだ。
Alright, so again, like she implies, it's almost, so using a base model like an animal is maybe like a shortcut or it's a solid baseline, right? Like crafting material wise. But it sounds like if you knew what you were doing and could be accomplished enough, you could form it out of other materials.
大枠が決まったら、あとは契約をするの。契約ってのが有機物を魔物化する作業だね。これは呪文唱えて即って感じに近いよ。
Okay. Ah, so it's kind of similar then.
デザインが悪いとうまい魔物にならないって禁止の教え。
Okay. Again, why it's probably more efficient to use a pre-existing model, because you can try and mimic life, but the more like lifeless it is, and the materials that you use probably were, like say you use stone. Like flesh is superior to wood, which is superior to stone, because they have different levels of like life and animation to them. And that's part of the design, and thus makes it more efficient. In fact, it might even be just efficiency based. Like, sure, if you had like unlimited power, you could probably make whatever you wanted from whatever you wanted. But the less like natural the form and function of the beast that you're trying to create and form a contract with, I bet you it takes more energy or life force to make it work. So especially if you are working purely off of a life force like contract where you can't utilize the Gaia, you know, like the natural energy of the planet, then yeah, it's like all the summoners, like they make contracts with these dogs. They probably take a dog and then they infuse it with energy and make into those familiars. But that's like taking the actual life force. So they're very limited, because if you try and make something too complicated or too robust, you're just going to kill yourself trying to make the contract.
禁止はさっき話した教育効果のある宿り木のことね。
Right. Kind of familiar too, isn't it?
うん。
It's kind of fun that she's saying that like, oh, like the epithet that carries like knowledge is mistletoe, because in Celtic lore, like mistletoe is considered like a holy plant. It's something that their religious leaders utilized. I mean, that's why mistletoe is associated with Christmas, because Christmas, like traditional, like Christmas, like the traditions surrounding Christmas are incorporated Celtic culture adapted to Christianity, because that's what a lot of Christians found, that when they traveled to different lands, they could convert a lot of pagans to believing in God, because, you know, for a pagan, just adding another god to the slot makes a lot of sense. And so they kind of would just add it to them and then slowly kind of like try and like indoctrinate them into believing in just the one god, rather than just adding God to the rest of whatever they worshipped. But it's also difficult to just tell people like, oh, your traditions, no, they're not proper, you need to take them away. So it makes a lot of sense to just appropriate them and make them yours. So Christmas trees, mistletoe, garlands, wreaths, all of that, they're all Celtic in nature, from the winter solstice celebration they used to have, and then it's been tweaked to represent the birth of Christ and all of that, which is really interesting. It's amazing, though, this facility too, and all the beasts you've got here.
全部禁止にレシピ載ってたやつ。私がやったのは素材集めと加工だけだから。
It's impressive though. Huh, must have taken quite a bit of time though.
10年近く。
Wow. That's half your life. You're amazing, Kotori. You did all that even with no personal gain.
見返りはあった。あったんだけどね。
For a moment, Kotori looks like she's about to cry. What's wrong? I'm here for you.
ううん。埃が入っただけ。
So So she had a goal, a dream that she wanted to bring about in these 10 years, but unfortunately that's fallen to pieces. Is that us? Keeping us safe? Or is something more? Kotori rubs her eye and smiles.
ちなみに、パワースポットから無尽蔵にエネルギー供給を受けられるから、一人でもいっぱい魔物が使えるんだ。
I'm guessing it's not truly limitless, but on the scale of a person, it is because it's a planet's worth of life force. What about the other summoners?
あまり詳しくないけど、普通は寿命を削って刺激してるはずで、だから一人一匹がせいぜいじゃないかな。大型の魔物はそれだけ燃費も悪くなるし。
Yeah, there's a lot of logic to this system. I'm guessing I predicted a lot of the mechanics just because it falls in line with other it's how I would run the system. If I were based on what I have, if I were writing a story with it, I pretty much said the way I would probably depict it in the universe. Just because based on my impressions. And so it seems like I'm on a kind of a similar wavelength with the creator here. So there's all sorts of conditions to make this monster in my pocket business work.
男の子ってこういう話好きでしょ。
I'd argue anybody would find this fascinating, but yeah, there's a propensity for boys and games and all that. Yeah, of course. How highly ranked is Chibi-Moth then?
あれは私の手持ちで一番よくできてる。
He's small, but he's strong like a beast.
同じ性能のものを普通に魔物化したら軽自動車くらいのサイズになっちゃう。
Oh, fetch, wow. Oh, what about the green dragon? That one was tough as heck.
既存の動物を利用するんじゃなくて、最初から戦闘用にデザインされてるんだと思う。
Okay, so that isn't hers.
戦闘能力は高いと思うよ。
There's more than one?
でも昔、神話の時代なんかには、もっと強いのもいたって言うし。
That would be the source of the stories of literal dragons.
全体で見ると、中くらい？中の下ランコかも。
Good grief, what kind of demons were they controlling back then? Say what? The monster? That was below average? Like a mid-boss?
小太郎くんゲームの。
Yes, he does.
ああいうのは、よっぽどうまく設計しないとまともに動かないから、数は少ないはずだ。何百年も研究して、やっとって感じ。
That sounds pretty serious. Do druids have any original designs?
いるよ。おかけんのネタでも来てた、木人ってやつとか。
The wooden men. Did that happen? I feel like I read about them on some random thread, I guess. Those were actually your lackeys? I'm sorry, but that sounded kind of unimpressive.
木人っていうの。古代からいる魔物ね。
I mean, they sound unimpressive, but the thing is, if she sends them out as, to go and, learn stuff, listen in on conversations, gather information, that's perfect.
動きが遅いから労働用なんだけど、大型にすると強い。
Okay. I'm pretty sure I saw a movie where they came up. Quite remarkable to learn they actually exist.
牧人は一般の人に目撃されてる例も多いから、各地の神話に名残があるかも。
Okay, so some can't be perceived, so maybe the big dogs and stuff we've been seeing wouldn't be visible to most people. Interesting. Oh, I'd love to look that up.
今度見してあげるね。できたと。
The crow's body has been cleanly sewn together. You're going to resurrect it?
蘇生なんてしないよ。
Kotori strokes the crow's body, and it twitches a few times and then awkwardly stands up. I'm at a loss for words. I just stare at the miracle unfolding before my eyes.
飛ばしてみるね。
The crow spreads its wings and jumps into the air. It flies for about 50 centimeters and crashes to the ground. It continues flapping on the grass.
うまくないね。鳥って難しい。
I bet. The crow stops moving, tinkering with living beings. The sight of it comes to as more of a shock than I expected. Yeah, I think it sounds cool to read, but if you actually saw someone take a corpse and make it move on its own, and you watched it, they didn't add a machine or to it or anything, it would be kind of paradigm shifting. One of those things where you can't really you think about it in a movie or in a story context like this. It's oh, that's really cool. But if you actually saw it, it would kind of just grind. It'd make you doubt everything you thought you knew about the world, and that shift would be kind of jarring. And the fact that Kotori doesn't seem phased at all only increases the impact. It kind of feels like she's playing God. No wonder they're hiding this. Did you make Chibi-Moth from Pero's body too?
うん。
Well, it's good it worked. It's good that it worked and we have him back then.
ペロは復活なんてしてないよ。
That's what I thought.
ペロは死んだんだから。
But I can kind of see a resemblance in his behavior.
たまたま。
Really?
チビモスには認識を撹乱する能力があるの。
Right.
見た人に犬って思わせる影響力のことね。
So you can bring him with you in town.
そう。ボディーガードとして使うことを想定してるの。工房も同様の結界で認識を撹乱してる。だから、たまにしか入ってこれない。
Almost?
機械じゃないから、たまにヘロッと。
I see. Still sounds extremely useful though.
マンモスの牙だけでも土とかを素材にしてマンモス型は作れる。けどそれだと街中で目撃されたらアウトでしょ？
Okay, so maybe I'm wrong because like well, I guess I was about to say like she could just take dirt and make it a creature, but at the same time, she has unlimited power. The other summoners don't, and so they're limited. What is that word? They're limited to probably just one. They have been witnesses though. I tell Kotori about the countless cryptid threads on the internet.
小鳥さんのミステイクや。
Kotori clutches her head. What about their perception distorting powers?
量産型にはないのだ。
You have mass-produced models? Dang, anything is possible in this world. Does she have like an army? All sorts of people are after the key. That's why Kotori had to sacrifice so much. But what can she stand to gain from all this effort? I remember the bodies I saw in the forest. I don't know the details, but she too is probably putting her life on the line. I suddenly realized just how hopeless Kotori's position must have been. Kotori, about your work here, is there any end to it? But I can't put it into words. Kotori's clutching her head, crying. Oh. She's taken everything on her shoulders all by herself. All this sorrow, unfair twists of fate. Why did I think this is a game? That's not it at all. There isn't anything like that. She's upset because we told her that she wasn't hiding her things properly, and it's just too much. It's a serious story that can't end with without loss of pain. I recall my own role. I came here to take Kotori back. I have to support her. Get a grip on yourself, man. The path ahead of us is fraught with hardship. The revelation strikes my head like a hammer. Oh gosh. I frantically look around. I need to commit to the terrain to memory. If worst comes to worst, I can take the best route to escape. That's about all I can do. I don't possess the resolve to kill a person. I have no combat training. I had my hands full fighting a below-average beast, or rather, I was actually almost killed by one. Twice. In my dictionary, the entry for reckless charge has a footnote saying that I'd be too scared to ever partake in such a thing. I have no choice but to grasp for things I can actually do. As pathetic as that is, I'm probably the only way I can be useful to Kotori. We don't need to worry about food or a place to stay. The plant familiars support our lives with little issue. The tropical pitcher plant in the room that looked like a restroom actually turned out to be a restroom after all. That's one of Kotori's few originals, apparently.
設計から完成まで3年を費やしたのだよ。
I bet. Come on. In any case, she's currently busy with increasing her troops and maintaining the barrier. She keeps hurrying from one place to another. Evening comes and the sun eventually sets. So she's just waging a war. She's literally waging a war. Are the summoners trying to burst in here? Like, I mean, she's talked about the key being the VIP. Are they trying to get to her? Like, they could be trying to get to the wellspring too, but she said they can't use that. So it's gotta be the key, but like, and the key makes it sound like she's like a key to something. Like she's gonna be like you can do something with her or make something happen with her. But like, what? What do they want? And why are they like fighting Kotori so hard? And if they're fighting her, like, did they know? Like, were some of them? Because like, I'm getting the feeling that like there are two kind of groups inside the ORS besides me and Kotori, and the two groups seem to be opposing each other. And like, based on the way that the dragon looked at them, I remember thinking Prez and Dense Strong Girl were part of the summoners. If the dragon's on the summoner side, then they're on the summoner side too, because it like looked at them, specifically noted them, and then went and looked away and started attacking. So if they're on the summoner side, Did they just not realize who Kotori was? Or did they have a conversation with her in private and kind of set up a truce, being like, look, we're not going to fight here. Like, battle lines are drawn. Or maybe the key wasn't really part of things yet? I don't know. I don't know. Kotori returns, rubbing her shoulders. Thank you for your hard work, boss.
疲れた。
A hermit's life isn't all it's cracked up to be.
でも、誓いだからね。破ったら力がなくなるかもしれない。
Oh, man. Is that how it works?
わからない。それに、あの人が戻ってきた以上は、スルーできないよ。
Okay, so the key.
小太郎くん、そろそろ戻る？チビに送らせるけど。
No. No, about that. I sit in front of her in the traditional Japanese style. Let me help you. Kotori smiles. That's so cute.
いや、
Ah! You look so cute, and yet... It wasn't even a simple no, but a no way. It hurts my feelings. Please.
いけません。
I'll write money to your account.
あたしゃ振り込め詐欺かい？
I mean, it looks like you could use some help.
誰だって大変なんだよ。それに小太郎くんにいてもらっても、することない。
I hate to admit, I'm not the most useful set, but I've been trying to think of anything I can do that maybe I might be able to do. And I figured one thing out at least. I have good eyes.
ほう？
To be more precise, all of my senses are top class. I'm the best lookout you could ever have.
魔物で偵察できるんだけど。
Well, I guess that's true. My desperate suggestion is instantly refuted. But even then, Kotori is still a single girl, even if she possessed all sorts of weird powers. I'm worried. Why are you keeping me from getting involved?
それは、危ないから。
That's abundantly clear. That's why I want to be here. You said it. I hear it plain and clear. This is a dangerous job.
うん。
Yeah. You're in danger too. And that's why I'm worried about you.
でも、一人でやる仕事なんだ。
Is
こ
it?
れ。
Is it though?
すべて終わったら、戻るつもりはあるんだよ。そしたら、また遊んでくれたらいいから。
And that's why you're transferring schools?
うん。
Come on, you're not planning to hide in here for the rest of your life, are you?
鍵が存在するうちは、隠れ続けなきゃ。
That ribbon woman. What about abandoning this place and running to some random location?
NG だね。
Plus, come on, think about that, dude. Like, she has a wellspring of power here. Those aren't common. And if she tries to go anywhere else, she's gonna lose the ability to do anything. So if they leave, take the key somewhere else, they're just putting themselves out in the open with no defenses and easily found by the summoners. Here, she can protect herself, probably obscure herself so she can't easily be found, and defend herself. It's tough, it's crazy hard, but like, she's on the defensive already. They already know that she's somewhere here, and they probably know the key's here. So like, there's no way you can do that.
ドルイドの技は、どれもパワースポットが必要なんだ。あれは、原子炉みたいなものなの。なくなったら、全部自分の寿命で賄わないといけなくなる。
That's...
魔物は、数百匹以上刺激してる。パワースポットが失われることがあれば、一瞬で命が吸い尽くされると思う。
Dude, she can't even get that far away from it now.
命綱なの。多少離れても平気だけど、もしここを利用できる他の魔物使いが来たら。
Oh, so if they get here, they could disrupt it. Her life would be forfeit. In short, she has to protect it no matter what. I see. So you can't leave this place for long. The more I hear about this, the more it feels like she drew a short straw. I mean, we're talking about life or death at this point. I don't know all the details, but it's clear that those other summoners are out to kill her. What's her plan for the long term? I don't think she has the luxury of having one. I think she's pretty much taking things day by day, hour by hour. It's like, if I can make it one more hour, if I can just make it one more time. It's like she's running toward the edge of a precipice. I want to save her. I want to do something with my power.
そんな悲観するほどじゃないよ。休学したのは単に時間が読めないからだし。最後まで隠れ続けることができれば。
You think people after the key are going to give up? With how important it sounds, I can't imagine that happening. Her somber expression confirms my thoughts.
とにかく今は場所を隠し続けなきゃ。結界を二重三重に増やして 魔物も増やして、それで、
These beasts are quite convenient when you look at them that way. You can have a powerful army without relying on weapons. And if you need more troops, you can just make them. Kotori's probably doing that in preparation for the worst case scenario. From how it sounds, she won't be able to retreat even if the other forces discover her location. Her only option is to fight. It sounds so surreal in a law-abiding country like Japan. The moment she's found out, it'll be the end. All this troops probably won't do anything but provide a false sense of security. In which case, I came in contact with the green dragon. Chibi-moth saved me. The master of the dragon must have seen everything. Crap. A single thoughtless action could mean the end. This isn't a game. This is actual war, and I might have just set it off. Oh no, I can't go back after all.
小太郎くん。
It may be underhanded of me, but I have an idea. There's a possibility I've already been marked. No response. Kotori can't judge that with confidence either, so there's nothing she can say. If they took some time investigating, either the summoners from town or their opponents would easily figure out we're suspicious as hell.
よその魔物が周辺をうろついてたら、私気づくよ。
So, did you know about the dragon?
今のところ、そういうことはない。気づかれてはいないと思う。
Maybe that's true in the field? What if these summoners hire a detective agency? There's no way amateurs like us could fool actual professionals. Besides, I came in contact with the beasts multiple times already. To what extent can summoners monitor what their familiars perceive?
普通は魔物の活動状態と位置が直感でわかる程度。
Alright, that's something.
魔物使いが近くにいればいるほど情報は伝わりやすいね。共感能力に特化したタイプ。魔物と魔物使いの間の共感のことね。
Right.
映像とまではいかないけど、会話くらいは筒抜けになるかも。
Man, I certainly hope we didn't have like a literal bug, like a bug familiar that's hiding in our backpack or something. Put a camera on that kind of beast.
やるかな、そこまで。
Of course, it's possible. It's potentially useful, so why wouldn't they? To be honest, I think the fact that I was close to you is more than enough for me to be marked as suspicious. Crap. Kotori looks like she's about to cry. My chest hurts. But I can't back down now. This perception distortion power. Do other functions possess it too?
ドルイドだけだと思うよ。秘伝をいくつも持ってるから、口伝を禁じてるんだって。
That means we can safely hide here, for the time being at least.
そう簡単には見つからない。危ないのは、人がたくさん入り込んできた場合。確率的に誰かがここを見つけてしまうことがあるの。
I felt like something was off with Chibi-moth since the beginning too. I don't think anyone would have bought it if it was even a little bigger.
あれが小さく作られているのは、大きくすればもっと強くできるけど、外では使えなくなる。
Right. Let me be frank. This whole army making business is just something you're doing to make yourself feel better, right?
まあ、ね。
Then would it be more dangerous for me to be at home all by myself?
でも、
I'd like you to protect me here.
今晩はいいけど。
I'm not planning on being here forever. Just let me stay until it looks safe.
わかった。
That could be a while, though. Kotori feels responsible for getting me involved. I pushed the conversation in that direction. My real feelings are different, of course, but she wouldn't have at least stay if I tried arguing any other way. I'm sorry, Kotori. I hope you'll be able to forgive me. I apologize to her within my heart. I can help with the easy stuff. Just ask away.
ね、無断で結界の外に出ちゃダメ。
Of course. What else?
それだけでいいよ。
What about the key? It seems like she was wandering around outside the area when I got attacked.
あれは、小太郎くんが結界のお守りを取っちゃったからだよ。
Ah, fetch. So those were part of it. The key possessed the same properties as familiar, so she can be trapped inside a barrier. She looks like the kind of person who'd wander off if the barrier disappeared. I'll keep my eye out for the little troublemaker so she doesn't escape. How about that?
じゃあ、それで。
Alright. We have some food I brought for dinner. Dry bread and canned meat, basically. Our workshop might be self-sufficient, but there's little variation in taste here. Kotori seems elated to find a perfectly average bar of chocolate. We don't prepare anything for the key. Are you bullying her or something?
食べないんだよ。
I mean, of course it doesn't. It's not a being. You sure she won't die? Hey, Miss Key, you want a bite? I stick some dry bread up to her.
Oh,
I'll toss it to you. It just deflect. A ribbon flies to the air and hits the back of the bread back. Hey! How could you waste food like that? Jeez. Those ribbons seem like some sort of defense mechanism. They managed to block the green dragon's attack pretty easily. And that kind of saved my life too.
エネルギーの塊だから。
Oh, maybe that's why. If the summoners can use the key to access power they normally could never touch. Like Gaia's power is locked away because if they touch it, it could like literally kill them. But if they can utilize the key without having to use it, or maybe the key simply is access to Gaia itself, but a way to do it in a roundabout way, then they could have unlimited power. And if they had unlimited power, they might try something really crazy.
1000年くらいは飲まず食わずでいけると思う。
Huh, so I'm guessing she doesn't age or sleep either.
Yes.
That's pretty hard to believe. So what kind of salvation is this little messiah supposed to bring?
わかんないの。
Ah, fetch again.
宿り木は守れとしか教えてくれなかったから。
I never imagined I'd end up in a situation like this. This is quite a wild turn. But all of it is real. It doesn't seem like I'll be able to take Kotori back anytime soon. I have no choice but to stay by her side until all this business is over. But will there even be a definite point where we can say it's over? I don't freaking know, man. So it wasn't a dream. Nope, unfortunately not. I think we're gonna go ahead and end here, though. We've got a deal in place. I wonder, like, Kotori's been so open with us. I'm kind of surprised Kotoru hasn't shared all of his capabilities to her. He's kind of said, like, oh, I've got good eyes. But, like, he should be like, no, like, I have, like, godly eyes. Like, I have the senses of a freaking miracle on legs. I don't know why. And maybe, well, I was going to say maybe he should show her the aurora. But I have a feeling the key's going to react really oddly if we do that. So maybe not that one. But we really should be open with her about what we are capable of, because maybe we can help. If anything, we could carry a lot of stuff that, like, she normally might not expect us being capable of carrying. But yeah, seems like it's gonna be rough from here. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. But I'm excited to see. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I certainly enjoyed recording it. It's nice being back in the game again. It's only been a week, but it feels like much longer for me. It's so nice to be able to do this. So I look forward to being able to, like, put this out there and read your thoughts and comments on it. And yeah, we'll see how this all plays out from here. But until then, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Thank you especially to the patrons and members of the channel. You guys are amazing. You're helping make the content more consistent. You're helping me get, like, upkeeping my equipment and getting access to art and other things that I use to try and just make the channel that much better and more appealing. So I thank you so much for that support and your willingness to continue to support. Keep in mind, I just published a patron cast, so if you're a patron or a member, like, you should be able to see it. It should be posted in a place where you have access to it. If you don't, for whatever reason, please let me know. You should, and so if you don't, I can figure out a way to make sure you do. But yeah, it should be really good for everyone, and hopefully you all enjoy that. But for anyone who's not members or patrons, don't worry. I'm really grateful for you too. You don't have to do anything like that. That's all voluntary if you just want to, like, continue to see the channel flourish and help give me more resources to work with. But I'm happy making this content regardless, so thank you so much for being here. I look forward to reading your comments, and until the next video watching me, you'll see me in next. I'll see you there.